All right. Now, listening 3 again. This is Cambridge. 15 test 2. এখন এই type of questions, the main function আমাদের কি ছিল? Reading, right? So reading টা আমরা একটু আস্তে আস্তে ধরি. What is the reading? It's reading the answer choices, right? Pickwick Papers, Oliver Twist, Nicholas Nickleby, এগুলা কিন্তু বলবেই. Martin Chuzzlewit, Break House, Little Dorrit. This stuff attention খুব একটা দেওয়া খুব বেশি একটা importance নাই. Let's look at poverty. So they're going to talk about money, not having money, the concept of not having enough to eat. That is all covered under poverty. Education, they're going to mention words like learning and academics, things of that nature. Travels, so the many places he went. Think about words that are related to travels. Entertainment could be about, they might say, fun activities or how people pass time. Crime and the law, they'll say stuff about the legal system. They'll say things like words like legal, a judge, a lawyer, police, things of that nature. Wealth, again, is about what? Money. Medicine, obviously, they're going to talk about doctors or, some sort of treatment. A woman's life, of course, they're going to mention a woman and they're going to say it's going to be about her life. So আমি একটু play করি এখন and আমরা try করি because we've already, we've done one already. Let's do another one. So let's go. Sure. আর এখানে পার্ট 3 তো দাঁড়াও তো এটার আগে আরো কিছু আছে সরি এন্ড আগে কিন্তু আমাদের কিছু আছে MCQs multi just like the last one মনে আছে multi MCQs so এখানে জানতে চাচ্ছে which two groups of people is the display primarily intended for? Students from the English department, residents of the local area, university's teaching staff, new students, and students from other departments. And number 23-24, what are Kathy and Graham's 2 reasons for choosing the novelist Charles Dickens? His speeches inspired others to try to improve society. His publications, he used his publications to draw attention to social problems. His novels are well known now. He was consulted on a number of social issues. His reputation has changed in recent times. So they started you, যেমন টেস্ট 1 কি মাল্টি এমসিকিউজ এন্ড এমসিকিউজ পরে দিয়েছিল টেস্ট 2 তে আবার কি করলো they put them first and they gave you this last. Okay, so I just want you guys to kind of read, and this is where the skill is right here. I want you to read these answer choices, and I will pause in the middle, don't worry. And let's get started. Practical learning is the best type of learning.
Part 3. You will hear 2 students of English called Kathy and Graham planning a display on 19th century British life and literature for a university event. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24.
আমি যেটা করি ওই সেম জিনিসটা read the answer choices.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
Okay, Graham, so let's check we both know what we're supposed to be doing.
Okay.
So, for the university's open day, we have to plan a display on British life and literature in the mid-19th century.
That's right.
But we'll have some people to help us find the materials and set it up, remember? For the moment, we just need to plan it.
Good. So have you gathered who's expected to come and see the display? Is it for the people studying English or students from other departments? I'm not clear about it.
Nor me. That was how it used to be, but it didn't attract many people, so this year it's going to be part of an open day to raise the university's profile. It'll be publicized in the city to encourage people to come and find out something of what goes on here. And it's included in...
So কি বললো মাত্র? It used to be for the university students, it used to be for students, but এইবার ওরা চাচ্ছে কি প্রোফাইলটা বাড়াইতে. And it was advertised in the local paper or something like that, right? Answer কিন্তু একটা বের হয়ে গিয়েছে. কোনটা হতে পারে? Residents of the local area, probably. And let's listen one more time.
This year it's going to be part of an open day to raise the university's profile. It'll be publicized in the city to encourage people to come and find out something of what goes on here.
It'll be publicized in the city. তার মানে কি? এলাকার মানুষ না? Residents of the local area. একটা.
And it's included in the information that's sent to people who are considering applying to study here next year.
Presumably, some current students and lecturers will come.
I would imagine so. But we've been told to concentrate on the other categories of people.
Right.
মাত্র কি বললো?
We don't
একটু
have
আগে
to cover the
শোনো তো?
students and lecturers will come.
I would imagine so. To encourage people to come and find out something of what goes on here.
এখন শোনো.
And it's included in the information that's sent to people who are considering applying to study here next year.
Considering to apply to study here. কোনটা হতে পারে? New students, exactly. Very good. Very good. Answers are B and D. Okay, আরেকটা শুনি 23-24 আসতেছে. And দেখো লাস্টে যে বলে university students and current students and lecturers আসবে. ও বললো লাস্টে কি বললো জানো? যে actually we have to focus on the other categories. দেখো.
Presumably, some current students and lecturers will come.
I would imagine so. But we've been told to concentrate on the other categories of people.
Right.
So teaching staff কেটে ফেললাম, student from the English department কেটে ফেললাম, আর student from other department নিয়ে মেনশনই করে নাই. Right. প্রথমেই বললো it's going to be publicized in the city, so এই জন্য B হবে একটা, and আরেকটা হবে ওই যে university students considering to apply মানে potential new students. All right, now let's look at 23-24. মাথা ঠান্ডা.
Don't have to cover the whole range of 19th century literature, do we?
No, it's entirely up to us. I suggest just using Charles Dickens.
এখন
That's a good
attention.
idea. Most people have heard of him and have probably read some of his novels or seen films based on them. So that's a good lead-in to life in his time.
Exactly.
So
And
মাত্র কি বললো? আরেকবার একটু শুনি তো.
And have probably read some of his novels, do we?
no, it's entirely up to us.
এখন শোনো.
I suggest just using Charles Dickens.
That's a good idea. Most people have heard of him and have probably read some of his novels or seen films based on them. So that's a good lead-in to life.
So most people have heard of him, most people have read his novels, and many of them have seen his films. So কোনটা হতে পারে এখানে? Wouldn't be well known now.
In his time.
Exactly. And his novels show the awful conditions that most people had to live in, don't they? He wanted to shock people into doing something about it.
Did he do any campaigning other than writing?
Yes, he campaigned for education and other social reforms and gave talks. But I'm inclined to ignore that and focus on the novels.
Yes, I agree.
So এটা শোনার পরে এখন they just said that he wanted to shock people into knowing about social issues. And তারপরে বললো, he was a campaigner for education, social issues, and justice and things like that. But তারপরেও বললো যে that's not what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on the books. So let's listen one more time and you'll be able to get another answer easily. Okay.
Other social reforms and gave talks. But he wanted to shock people into...
So that's a good lead-in to life in his time.
Exactly. And his novels show the awful conditions that most people had to live in, don't they? He wanted to shock people into doing something about it.
Did he do any campaigning other than writing?
Yes, he campaigned for education and other social reforms and gave talks. But I'm inclined to ignore that and focus on the novels.
So I'm inclined to ignore that and focus on the novels. Answer kintu hocche tomader B. Right. He used his publications to draw attention to social problems. He wanted to shock people into doing something about it. Eta jeta bollo arki. All right. So answers ekhane hobe B and C, and arekta egula chilo ki B and D. All right. Very good. Now let's continue on to the list of the topics, list of topics and the novels. Okay, so let's kind of move forward. This one will be easier probably since you've got some practice already. And use this time just like they say. Now you have some time. What do I always say? Read your answer choices.
Yes, I agree.
Before you hear the rest of the discussion, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
Okay, so now shall we think about a topic linked to each novel?
Yes, I've printed out a list of Dickens's novels in the order they were published, in the hope you'd agree to focus on him.
You're lucky I did agree. Let's have a look. Okay, the first was The Pickwick Papers, published in 1836. It was very successful when it came out, wasn't it? And was adapted for the theatre straight away.
There's an interesting point, though, that there's a character who keeps falling asleep, and that medical condition was named after the book, Pickwickian syndrome.
Oh, so why don't we use that as the topic and include some quotations from the novel?
Ki bollo medical condition na?
Next is Oliver Twist. There's a lot in the novel about poverty, but maybe something less obvious.
Well, Oliver is taught how to steal, isn't he? We could use that to illustrate the fact that very few children went to school, particularly not poor children, so they learnt in other ways.
Good.
Learning niya bollo Oliver Twist. He learned to steal. It's not about crime and the law. It's about learning. So listen to what they said, Arekbar.
That to illustrate the fact that very few children went.
Maybe something less obvious.
AJ.
Well, Oliver is taught how to steal, isn't he? We could use that to illustrate the fact that very few children went to school, particularly not poor children, so they learnt in other ways.
Good idea.
Education.
What's next?
Maybe Nicholas Nickleby? Actually, he taught in a really cruel school, didn't he?
That's right. But there's also a company of touring actors that Nicholas joins. We could do something on theatres and other amusements of the time. We don't want only the bad things, do we?
Theater and other amusements of the time. Koonta hoite pare?
Entertainment.
Very good. Fantastic.
Okay.
What about Martin Chuzzlewit? He goes to the USA, doesn't he?
Yes. And Dickens himself had been there a year before and drew on his experience there in the novel.
I wonder though, the main theme is selfishness. So we could do something on social justice. No, too general. Let's keep to your idea. I think it would work well.
প্রথমে কি বললো? It was about USA, Jawa, and Dickens himself went. কোনটা হইতে পারে?
Travel.
Very good.
He wrote Bleak House next. That's my favourite of his novels.
Yes, mine too.
Oh,
His satire of the legal system is pretty powerful.
that's true. But think about Esther, the heroine. As a child, she lives with someone she doesn't know is her aunt, who treats her very badly. Then she's very happy living with her guardian, and he puts her in charge of the household. And at the end, she gets married, and her guardian gives her and her husband a house, where, of course, they're very happy.
Yes, I like that.
What?
So কি নিয়ে কথা বলতেছে এতক্ষণ? একটা মেয়ের এই বিয়ে হইলো, কেয়ারটেকারের কাছে গেল, কোনটা হবে?
এটা হচ্ছে Woman's Left.
Very good.
What do we take next? Little Dorrit? Old Mr. Dorrit has been in a debtor's prison for years.
So was Dickens' father, wasn't he?
That's right.
What about focusing on the part when Mr. Dorrit inherits a fortune and he starts pretending he's always been rich?
Good idea.
Okay.
So is
So next we need to think
Well-
about materials we
very
want to
good.
illustrate.
it very good. আস্তে আস্তে দেখছো ইজি হচ্ছে. It's just a matter of time. That's it. Okay? এখন আবার 2 মিনিট মাথা ফ্রেশ করো, আরেকটা করব। তারপর ছেড়ে দেব একটু পরে। হ্যাঁ। আরেকটা করি। কেমন লাগলো? এখন এইবারটা অনেকটা বেটার না?
Yeah.
Right. And it's just, this whole concept of listening, what the biggest difficulty is, মানে আমরা কিসেতে attention দিব? It's a game of attention because notice she subtly gives the answer. মানে initially ওরা কিন্তু অ্যানসারটা বলে, তারপর অনেকগুলা extra information বলে, তারপর বলে no, I think your idea is better. Right? So আমরা যদি ওখানে হুদাই আমাদের attention দিয়ে দেই ওই unnecessary information এ, তখনই কিন্তু অ্যানসারটা ভুল হয় বা আমাদের অ্যাটেনশনটা চলে যায় অন্য একটা অ্যানসার চয়েসের দিকে। এন্ড এটা কিন্তু খুবই ইউনিক ছিল এই লিসেনিংটা বিকজ they were saying certain things like his father was in a debtor's prison. Right. So prison শুনলে you want to think of what? Crime and law, but it's not about crime and law. It's about when he inherited a fortune. So a lot of different things are key. But listening is all about practice and more practice, and that's what we're going to do. And তুমি যেটা করতেছো আমরা যেটা ক্লাসে করি যেটা হচ্ছে guided practice, right? It's not just এমনি তোমাদেরকে দিয়ে দেই প্লে দিয়ে দেই. It's not that. It's guided practice. So no worries, okay? Let's look at another one. Test 3 তে চলে যাই. Sorry. There we go. All right, test 3. Oh, very good. I love fill in the gaps, and I remember Tanjil তুমি বলতেছিলা যে fill in the gaps একটু যে section 4 এর সমস্যা। But section 4 এর মজাটাই হচ্ছে fill in the gaps. That is the most fun thing about section 4. Because fill in the gaps, we can assume what the answer can be first and foremost, and secondly, আমরা easily answerটাকে extract করতে পারি. I love fill in the gaps questions, even in reading. Okay, so you know my strategy এখানে. Of course, it's what? Initially to read, right? And এটা one word only answer হবে. And এখন বলছে যে what Hazel should analyze about items in newspapers. So বলা আছে newspaper analysis করছে, right? এখন চিন্তা করো what blank the item is on. এটা 1000% page হবে, right? It's 1000% page হবে, কোনো প্রশ্নই উঠে না। তারপর দেখো the blank of the item including the headline. Headline বললো name of the item, title, something what? Identifying information. Take na?
Mhm.
Any blank accompanying the item. It could be advertisement, it could be pictures, because this is in a newspaper, right? Any information, right? The blank of the item, what's made prominent. So যেটার উপরে focus point করছে, what's made prominent, right? And let's see what we have. The writer's main blank. So writer's main idea, writer's main focus. The blank the writer may make about the reader. So this is probably the assumption, the guess. But I don't want you to just place words. But understand, this is going to be a noun. The blank of the item, 22. Of the item, something of the item, probably noun. Again, noun. All of these are basically what? Nouns. This one, 26, is probably going to be a verb or adjective or adverb, something like that. Now let's look at 27 through 30. Just like our favorite last set, is very easy. So এখানে দিয়ে রাখছে যে types of articles, and next to them you put one of these letters, A, B, C. Just like last এটার মতোই. Okay, same concept. এখানে বলবেই national news item. Either she will look for an article, she might look for an article, or she won't look for an article. A is she will, B is maybe, C is she won't. So national news, she might. Editorial, she will. Human interest, she won't. Arts, she won't. So that's the kind of way we're going to answer those. I'm just assuming, I'm just দেখাচ্ছি আর কি যে কেমনে present করবে আর কি ব্যাপারটা. So let's get into the listening. Mata thanda, mata fresh. All right, let's get into it. As usual, আমি যেভাবে পড়ি, তোমরা যে when they give you time, পড়বা.
Part 3. You will hear two students, called Hazel and Tom, talking about Hazel's media studies assignment. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Tom, can I ask you for some advice, please?
Yes, of course. If you think I can help. What's it about?
It's my first media studies assignment, and I'm not sure how to go about it. You must have done it last year.
Is that the one comparing the coverage of a particular story in a range of newspapers?
That's right.
Oh, yes. I really enjoyed writing it.
So, what sort of things do I need to compare?
Well, there
Excellent.
are several things. For example, there's the question of which page of the newspaper the item appears on.
You mean
কি বললো মাত্র which page? দেখলা? All right. Very good. Number 22 আসতেছে.
because there's a big difference between having it on the front page and the bottom of page 10, for instance.
Exactly. And that shows how important the editor thinks the story is. Then there's the size. How many column inches the story is given. How many columns it spreads over.
And I suppose that includes the headline.
So what including with? The size. Very good. Very good.
Certainly does. It's all part of attracting the reader's attention.
What about graphics? Whether there's anything visual in addition to the text?
Yes.
কি বললো মাত্র?
Visual.
Graphics, right? Visuals. So,
Ah,
right.
You need to consider those too, because they can have a big effect on the reader's understanding of the story, sometimes a bigger effect than the text itself. Then you'll need to look at how the item is put together. What structure is it given? Bear in mind that
What
structure.
Very good.
not many people read beyond the first paragraph. So what has the journalist put at the beginning? And if, say, there are conflicting opinions about something, does one appear near the end where people probably won't read it?
And newspapers sometimes give wrong or misleading information, don't they? Either deliberately or by accident. Should I be looking at that too?
Yes, if you can. Compare what's in different versions. And as far as possible, try and work out what's true and what isn't. And that relates to a very important point.
Hey, Justice.
What's the writer's purpose? Or at least the most
রাইটারের কি
Purpose.
Fantastic. দেখলো কতগুলা এক্সট্রা কথা বলছে, বাট যখনই রাইটারটা কথাটা বললো তখনই আমি বললাম আসতেছে।
Mhm.
তো এই স্ট্র্যাটেজি গুলা
important one. If they have several, it may seem to be to inform the public, but often it's that they want to create fear or controversy, or to make somebody look ridiculous.
Gosh, I see what you mean. And I suppose the writer may make assumptions about the reader.
কি হবে? Assumptions about the reader. So আমি একবার এটা দিলাম, এখন তোমরা একটু আরেকটা বার এটা শুনো, দেখো অ্যান্সার গুলো লক্ষ্য করতে পারো নাকি। And কিভাবে প্রেজেন্ট করে দেখলা? এখন আমি ফুল প্লে করব, ওকে?
Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Tom, can I ask you for some advice, please?
Yes, of course. If you think I can help. What's it about?
It's my first media studies assignment, and I'm not sure how to go about it. You must have done it last year.
Is that the one comparing the coverage of a particular story in a range of newspapers?
That's right.
Oh, yes. I really enjoyed writing it.
So, what sort of things do I need to prepare?
Well, there are several things. For example, there's the question of which page of the newspaper the item appears on.
I mean, because there's a
Which page, right, Gallo?
difference between having it on the front page and the bottom of page 10, for instance.
Exactly. And that shows how important the editor thinks the story is. Then there's the size, how many inches the story is given, how
The size.
many columns it spreads over.
And I suppose that includes the headline.
It certainly does. It's all part of attracting the reader's attention.
What about graphics? Whether there's anything visual in addition to the text.
Yes, you need to consider those too,
Graphics.
because they can have a big effect on the reader's understanding of the story, sometimes a bigger effect than the text itself. Then you'll need to look at how the item is put together. What structure is it given? Bear in mind that not many people read beyond the first paragraph.
Structure.
So what has the journalist put at the beginning? And if, say, there are conflicting opinions about something, does one appear near the end where people probably won't read it?
And newspapers sometimes give wrong or misleading information, don't they? Either deliberately or by accident.
Extra information.
Should I be looking at that too?
Yes, if you can. Compare what's in different versions. And as far as possible, try and work out what's true and what isn't. And that relates to a very important point. What's the writer's purpose? Or at least the most important one. If they have several, it may
Purpose.
seem to be to inform the public, but often it's that they want to create fear or controversy, or to make somebody look ridiculous.
Gosh, I see what you mean. And I suppose the writer may make
Oops.
assumptions about the reader.
Assumptions.
right.
Right.
About their knowledge of the subject, their attitudes, and their level of education, which means writing so that the readers understand without feeling patronized. All of that will make a difference to how the story is presented.
Before you hear the rest of the discussion, you have some time to look at questions 27 to 30.
Okay, so let's use our time. National news item, editorial, human interest, arts. A, definitely will look for an article. B, she may look for an article. C, she definitely won't. A, yes. B, maybe. C, no.
Now listen and answer questions 27 to 30.
ভাই আর্টিকেল গুলো দেখা যাচ্ছে না।
Does it
Oh, sorry,
matter what type of story I write about?
My bad, my
No.
bad, my bad. Page change করি নাই. My bad. And let's use our time. আরেকটু, one more time, একটু চোখে একটু দেখি.
27 to 30.
Does it matter what type of story I write about?
No. National or international politics, arts, anything. As long as it's covered in 2 or 3 newspapers. Though, of course, it'll be easier and more fun if it's something you're interested in and know something about.
And on that basis, a national news item would be worth analysing. I'm quite keen on politics, so
Would be worth analyzing. তার মানে কি? It would be worth analyzing মানে A.
She will.
Right, she will.
so I'll try and find a suitable topic. What did you choose for your analysis, Tom?
I was interested in how newspapers expressed their opinions explicitly. So I wanted to compare editorials in different papers. But when I started looking, I couldn't find 2 on the same topic that I felt like analysing.
In that case, I won't even bother to look.
So in the
তার মানে
end,
কি হলো?
I chose a human interest story.
I won't even bother to look. She will not.
Mm.
Right? Very good.
A terribly emotional story about a young girl who's very ill, and lots of other people, mostly strangers, raised money so she could go abroad for treatment. Actually, I was surprised. Some papers just wrote about how wonderful everyone was, but others considered the broader picture, like why treatment wasn't available here.
I usually find stories like that raise quite strong feelings in me. I'll avoid that.
I'll avoid
Perhaps
it.
I'll choose an arts topic, like different reviews of a film or something about funding for the arts. I'll think about that.
Yes, that might be interesting.
I'll think about
Okay,
that.
well, thanks a lot for your help, Tom. It's been really useful.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Good luck with the assignment, Hazel.
So,
That
27,
is the
Sheila.
end of part 3.
A,
Very good. 28.
C,
She won't exactly. 29, okay. She feels
C.
a lot. Feeling C. Very good. And 30, হচ্ছে, I might look at that. I might have a look, which is B.
Mhm.
Very good. Next class, Tanjil, hopefully we will do definitely more on section 3. And then we will start on section 4. And section 4 theory is a little weird, so it's a little bit fun. So I'll have to do on camera, and you'll kind of get a good understanding. Okay.
Okay. ঠিক আছে।
All right. ভালো থেকো। And কোনো questions
Okay.
থাকলে feel free to reach out anytime. বুঝছো না? Just let me know. And
Sure.
and coming up a week, you're gonna have more classes with me. No worries. It's just the birthday went, and I was kind of tired and stuff. A lot of things going on. But I
Awesome.
hope all is well. দোয়া কইরো, ভালো থেকো, and আসসালামু আলাইকুম.
জি ভাই, আল্লাহ হাফেজ।